Coming up on Oily Trash Movies. Oh, come on, no, not Daddy!
Not Daddy! I love Daddy!
You alright?
Yeah, I was just clearing my throat.
Alright, and we're live. Hello, and welcome to Oily Trash Movies. This is the only podcast on YouTube with 100 subscribers.
Hold up! What are we watching? I just am testing my audio. I wasn't ready for.
Well, too bad. This is the only podcast where two people watch bad movies and say unfunny things the whole time. We're your hosts. I'm Daddy WarBux.
Hi everyone. I don't know what I'm doing, and I've lost my notes for the 100 sub special. And I'm Bublegum Barbie.
And today we're going to be watching a really cool movie. There's a lot to get into on this. It's called Bloodthirst. But before we get into that, last week we watched Alien Invasion. Do we have any closing remarks on Alien Invasion?
That movie felt like as if an atomic bomb exploded and I was a victim of its explosion. That's what that movie felt. It was terrible. It was like
it was like an atomic bomb.
Yeah, so what I felt after thinking about this movie is I felt sorry for the dumpster. I felt sorry for the trash. Like, I pitied it because we threw it there.
This movie is an insult to trash.
It's such an insult to trash.
It gives trash a bad name. I don't have too much to say, but we do harp a lot of such a great premise. We get so excited about these movies with excellent premises, and then they inevitably fail to execute, which, okay, that happens. It's like you fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. This movie had the opposite problem. There was no premise. The premise of this movie was, it's like Alien, but cheaper. I'm not gonna get sold on that. Give me anything to latch onto, giving me any idea. Alien Invasion had none of that. Right in the dumpster, 9 buckets of oil. I don't ever want to think about that movie again.
I agree with you. I do not want to think about it. The whole reason why we didn't get an episode out last week is because of this movie. We really had to withdraw. We were really questioning our life existence. This movie was so bad. And I do want to say the costume was okay. It was a do-it-yourself costume, but
wrong. It was a Wish.com costume, as we discussed last week. But anyway, that's enough about Alien Invasion. This week, I believe this is our first vampire movie. And not only is it a vampire movie, it's a post-apocalyptic vampire movie. So 2 genres that I don't think we've ever dealt with before.
How did you know that I love vampires? I am a big vamp girl. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I want to be a vampire, or it's vampires. And the last thing I think about when I go to sleep is vampires. It's an addiction for me. Twilight was a masterpiece. So good. I'm excited.
Every morning, Bubble wakes up, she walks to the bathroom and checks her neck for bite marks.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yes, I do. That's exactly what I do. And I am always very disappointed, which is so sad. Anyway. So what is this movie called? So I can pull it up.
It's just called Bloodthirst. What do we know about this?
Oh, let me find my notes. Bloodthirst. Oh my gosh. Is this True Blood kind of parody? Because it looks like it's the same font. It's exactly the same feel to it. I am pretty... No, this is an episode. What am I looking at? You gotta send
Hold
me
on,
the
I
IMDb.
DM'd you the IMDb.
You did? Okay, you didn't say nothing. Oh, I spaced it. So, it is an hour and 28 minutes. It came out in 2023. The director is Michael Stu. The writers are Adrian Milnes, and I can't read that. And oh my gosh, Massimiliano Terci. I have no idea what that is, but I'm so sorry. I tried. It is an action horror sci-fi film. It is in a post-apocalyptic world run by vampires. Only the strong survive. John Shepard, the vampire hunter, is one of them. John has to track down and eliminate the master vampire before he himself gets turned.
Oh my goodness. So a couple cool things about this movie. One, it has someone who's almost a star. It's got Tara Reid in it, which I remember from back in the day. She was big because of American Pie. I don't think she's been in anything since then. So unfortunately, Tara Reid's career did not take off. But more importantly, we just found out that this movie has none other than oily trash movie favorite Sarah French.
I was looking at it as you were talking about the cast, and there she was, that blonde right there. I'm zooming in.
It's
Hi,
perfect.
Sarah.
We unfortunately had to remove our last Sarah French video from YouTube. We got copy struck on it, so make sure you also follow us on Rumble, where that video is still up. And we're giving you a new Sarah French episode for our 100 subscriber special. We're super pumped.
Oh gosh, I'm looking at photos here, stills. It looks terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm a person who really likes what we've been talking about it. The vampire that I really like, it starts with a B.
Blade.
Blade.
With Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I loved those movies. Those are so good. And I've been trying to convince War to watch them with me again. This is coming soon. I just recently convinced War to watch one of the greatest boxing films, and he watched it, and I think he liked it, and we'll talk about that, The Raging Bull. So look forward to our super serious movie review, which I'm very excited about. But anyway, this looks like trash, but it looks like good trash. This looks Bloodthirst.
This looks like we're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
It's gonna have fun with it, so I'm really excited. Specifically after the last movie that we watched, which I think I got cancer from watching that alien invasion film. I'm okay now. Hopefully, knocking on wood.
Bubbles got 6 months.
I do want to note, I think I despise Sarah French a little more watching this film due to the fact that our very awesome review of her production film cut us out, and I just despise her even a little more. She's more of a nemesis.
She is a nemesis. You know what? I don't know where all this Sarah French lore came from in oily trash movies, because I rewatched the Space Wars review, and we didn't even know what her name was at any point. we had a meme of her as a Tinder girl, and that was it.
That's what just got us.
I had one line. I was like, this blonde girl looks really familiar. And you were like, yeah, she looks like every girl on Tinder.
It's true.
And thus began your blood feud.
And thus became your obsession with Sarah French.
Pretty much.
I could date this woman.
Yeah, she does look like the girl I would swipe on Tinder. Man, this guy's dressed as a minion.
Who are you?
Whoa.
Do you think you can save her?
What a voice. I hope his voice is okay after this film.
Oh, shit.
I love how they went very character with the vampires, like really 1,000 miles. Like, this is what a vampire looks like. I'm for it.
Yeah, I like the costume. Everyone looks pretty wild, honestly.
Yeah, I love this because if a minion were a person, it would be this guy. Oh my god, if there's like werewolves in this movie, I'm gonna lose my mind.
This is pretty awesome for a low-budget film. One, I need to clean my glasses.
No! Ooh. Oh my god, what if Sarah French is a vampire?
Oh my god, the hottest vampire ever. He's got his hedge trimmers.
Hell yeah.
Oh, is he gonna
Oh my god, this movie was sponsored by Forger's Coffee.
Oh, yeah, you know what? It's daylight, and they just now put their sunglasses on. I was wondering why they had all those welding goggles.
But it makes sense because it's overcast. Look at how overcast it is. Oh no, is he a vampire now?
The minion.
No, Dominion!
Man, this is awesome. Look at this. This guy looks like he's from Fallout.
He's more bundled up than the vampire. His crossbows, or whatever those things are called, are dipped in holy water.
Extra salted holy water.
Yeah.
So it's also effective against aliens.
Sarah French's contract is, I only work with silver foxes.
Think she's got daddy issues?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
You're already dead, man. Worse liar than you are a thief.
This guy should have played more Skyrim.
Is this all at the same location? I'm like confused as to where we are geographically.
Who are you and what do you want?
Oh my goodness, this bald guy, the main evil vampire, was in Death Race with Jason Statham.
The Son of Man has no place to rest his head.
Oh man, don't show this to Aunt Mom.
Oh man.
He's like, this big guy's gonna feed all of us.
You will never be strong enough to become one of us.
What do you mean? He could be the best WWE fighter of all time.
He's like Hurley from Lost.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that show, but I've seen clips of it, and I know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh, so much blood. So this is a world in which vampires rule, but none of the humans have any anti-vampire weaponry. The editing in this is... I don't know if it's just sloppy, or if they just didn't have the runtime, or they didn't have the footage to sort of flesh this out more.
I think what it was the runtime and the skill set of the editor.
I also don't feel like there's any logical reason for these two to be teaming up based on what we've seen so far.
Right.
You were saying, Bubble?
I'm getting into the movie, but, like, I forgot. Welcome to Oily Trash Movies, a very professional, the most professional of all time podcast that talks about movies.
This is the only podcast where people say unfunny things the entire time.
Oh my god. Makeup is so good so far. Oh. Makeup put little fake eyelashes on her. They're like, you know what she needs? She needs fake eyelashes.
Look how tight this set is. This is literally someone's actual basement. So is there going to be a payoff with that crucifix in the third act?
I guess so, yeah.
Is this Sarah French or is that Tara Reid?
That's Tara Reid.
Okay.
Oh, I forget that, like, you can't recognize faces if they have costumes. Like, you're like, who's this mystery person?
Well, even if they don't have costumes. Ooh, is there going to be a hot vampire sex scene here? That's Tara Reid?
I think so.
Dude, this goblin creature. This guy's awesome. So is this goblin creature the master? Is that like the top, like the main bad guy?
Yeah, that's the maker. Because he's not a goblin, he's a bat-looking humanoid.
Here, you want him? Take him.
Dude, he's trying to his daughter to the vampires. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Biting the gold digger. Well, if they're all starving because they can't find enough people, they need to do what they did in Blade 2, where they take the humans hostage and then just essentially use them as blood donors. And it becomes like factory farm. Minion. Like, hey, can you get this corpse out of here for us?
Oh no, you have hepatitis C.
That would actually be an interesting plot point if the vampires were weak against hepatitis. And all the humans have to use dirty needles to inoculate themselves. Oh no! She's chaining the gold digger to her daughter, even though they were so offended that these humans would sacrifice their kids, and now they're forcing them to kill their kids.
I think the writers forgot that that's the side plot that they wrote, and they're like, whatever, this just makes it more dramatic.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening in this movie, but I'm into it. Ooh, woo.
Don't cut that. Dude, if a guy's standing in the middle of the road pointing a gun at you, you just floor it. Oh no, not the Minion guy.
That's a cool car. Sarah French!
Oh my god! Yeah! Yeah! She's like a Daisy Duke vampire hunter.
You kill him, you bag him.
Damn, why is Sarah such a bitch in this movie?
We are not cops.
I think they'd be more concerned about vampires than cops.
Yeah. I mean, I would be concerned of vampire cops.
We'll take it to daddy.
Oh!
No, they literally mean like their daddy.
Wrong. She's talking about me.
This is a good shot.
This is the Quentin Tarantino trunk shot.
Quentin Tarantino, if you're watching this, please hire me. I am an extraordinary actor. I am better than Sarah French.
He's gonna watch it and be like, you know what? That Sarah French is actually pretty cool. So anyway, sign our petition. We're trying to get Sarah French starring in Quentin Tarantino's final film.
So, anyways, Oh my gosh, they're like stormtroopers. They kept missing.
See, terrible editing. They run back in the car and then it just cuts to their back on the road. Like, you had vampires descending upon you. I like this awesome hot rod that they have. This is just like they had access to some cool shit when they're filming this movie, and they're like, yeah, we'll put it in.
That guy was like, yeah, this is all mine. That's my car. That's my bike.
Man, I would be so nervous about letting Sarah French drive that car in between scenes. There's so much bad acting in this movie, though.
There is.
This is such a bizarre movie to me.
It's weird.
I could see this being a cult classic of sorts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, come on, no, not Daddy!
Not Daddy! I love Daddy! Come on, Sarah French! Do something! Oh,
Wait, he's pulling out his
my
other
God.
crossbow
yeah,
now?
the one dipped in holy water.
Wait, he's got multiple crossbows! Oh, Sarah French is so sad.
Oh man, Sarah French's sister is outshining her with her acting.
No, Sarah's just the strong, stoic one.
Right.
Listen, I'll defend Sarah French to the grave.
I like his quick DUI vampire master throw.
I too have a DUI throne. This needed one scene in the first act where there's like the big saloon.
Oh, like Star Wars, the classic, like with the music.
Well, it's just something to show that there's like a bustling human society, maybe, that's being terrorized. I don't know. It's like where you might have like some of these different characters sort of like have overlapping interest where they want to defend this community. That should be blowing a kiss at my Sarah French.
Who did they hire? I cannot believe this movie like got tanked in their film. The Browncoats gang. This guy is like cooler than the vampire hunter.
He is. Look how fucking huge this guy is.
I
Jesus.
know. Goodness gracious. I take back what I said about Sarah French. She seems to know a lot of cool people. So, Sarah French, we're best friends, and I would like to be in a movie.
She's lying, Sarah. She's only trying to be nice to use you. Sarah knows what it's like to be stabbed in the back, remember?
Oh, that's true.
Sarah, I have a script that I want to pitch you, where you are a female space James Bond.
Oh my gosh, I have one of those too.
They're the sheep that's lost their shepherd.
Well, this is the second time someone said the word shepherd, and the main character's last name is Shepherd. You know, I like the guy with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, me too. I also like the big dude. See his big ol' ass cross over him?
Yeah, that was the same guy.
Oh, okay. Talking about the same dude. I'm like, this movie has so many characters that I can't keep up.
There is a little bit of character overload in this. Especially because those guys came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Here's another character we just got introduced to again.
Yeah. We have a queen vampire, a king vampire, Nosferatu, and then a master vampire. And minion vampire.
The master and the biker are like best friends in real life.
They're not even actors. The director just found them at a biker bar one day. He was like, hey, you want to be in a movie?
They're like, yeah, I actually have a bunch of like old cars and all these bikers and tanks that I stole.
He needs to wipe the filth off of his face.
Yeah.
Like, don't these guys have washcloths in this post-apocalypse?
No. Oh my god, I see how they did the vampire teeth. So they got like those toys, the vampire teeth toys, and then they cut them up and only kept the fangs. They put them on them with that glue.
Tooth glue.
Yeah. This guy needed to be more of a businessman. He should have had his cigar. I don't know what, like, that's his thing.
He needed...
And he should have had his cigar and be like, listen, like, be like very Wolf of Wall Street type of character.
Yeah.
You know?
He needs to be a politician. He should be the mayor of the last surviving
yes,
town.
that
And he's like trying to
awesome.
organize the defense, but then he's actually working with the vampires, like to deal behind the scenes.
Who are these vampires? Where did they come from?
This is the Nosferatu crew, I guess. I guess there's different rival vampire factions in this movie as well.
You know what this movie needed? It needed to be more like Twilight when they growl and they like crouch down like animals and they go ah. That's what this movie did a little more.
Yeah, why not? They need to be like roosting, hanging upside down during the day in these buildings. Hold on, this guy has a pendant of like a ping pong championship on his necklace.
Oh my gosh, there's a guy back there who's going for the blade essence. Look at him.
Yeah, why didn't we meet that guy?
This movie needed like hype music in the back, like da da da. And we just got copyright struck.
Tie him up.
Rico.
Wait, he said tie him up, but they have police cuffs.
Handcuffs.
Yeah.
I like being on the winning side. At what cost? Your soul?
Ooh, what profits a man who gains the world but forfeits his soul? What happened to the thief character? He's just gone.
Yeah. Just couldn't show up that day. Oh, he came back. You know, with that character, the thief, this is where he should have been thieving.
Yeah, or like picking the locks.
Yeah. He should have been stolting around.
Your mom was a sweet ride.
Oh, your mom was a sweet ride.
Oh shit.
Great line.
Oh, I forgot. I got it. We gotta be clean with our cuss word. Oh damn.
Let me just use a different cuss word.
Yeah. I'll just go with the classic. Oh my god. There you go. Saved it. Nailed it.
Oh, fudge.
Oh no.
Get betrayed, idiot.
And we will be merciful.
Oh, there's mercy.
This right here is just a bunch of goths, like, attacking bikers.
They just, they went to the local Hot Topic. See, we don't even know any of these people, so there's, like, nothing... Like, where's the dude with the sledgehammer?
I need a human shield, and you are it.
Oh, no,
man,
the
dude,
daughter.
these daughters, they've had the worst luck.
That was cool.
I'm a thief, remember?
Oh, we finally have a thief action going on. The thief just like rolls across the whole parking lot, grabs the gun.
It's just a new
Who
dude.
the hell is this vampire?
We will be together for all eternity.
What?
Get away from her, you fucking bitch.
No! He was my favorite! This is the kind of movie that every extra would have loved to be part of because every extra had lines.
Here's that cross that we saw. Act 1. What's happening?
The cross is so strong. Oh my god.
Oh shit, the cross was a knife.
It was a stake. It was a wooden stake for the classic
Yeah,
kill.
You're right.
The queen is dead.
Is he passing a kidney stone?
No, he's turning. This movie needed a makeout scene. I don't care who, but that's what it needed.
What about that demon thing? The ultimate master.
That's in the next movie, War. Wait, there was a vampire battle? Well, there was also a human battle?
I guess. You see, we didn't have the factions established. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Many vampires perish with the master's death. Now the vampire hunter is on a mission to kill the ultimate master and end all the vampires' reign on Earth. What? Bloodthirst 2?
Oh my god.
I don't want to see any more of this. Okay, that was Bloodthirst. Okay, so this was, I think, really a fine movie and an ambitious movie. I loved, one, the costumes, incredible. Everybody really had that Mad Max feel. It really felt like we were in a desert wasteland. But so much of this movie seemed just taped together. It really felt like we were watching a movie with an inexperienced director, I want to say, or at least an inexperienced editor, because it was very difficult to follow where we were at, who was going where, what direction people were moving in, what the different locations were, especially when every location is an abandoned shack in this desert. Everything very quickly began to look alike.
I think the main problem of this movie is that it tried to push in way too much information into one movie, but still failed because there's the second one. Regardless of how successful this movie was going to do, they decided, like, listen, I have so much info, I need to make a second film. If they already decided to do that, they should have gave themselves more time to put in that world building into the first half of the film. And then in the second half, have all this fight between the brown coat traitor plot story. And I think that would have been awesome to have like towards the end of the second half going into the third, where there's all this fight scene. I think that's the biggest problem. Number one is that they tried to put in way too much info.
So really, like, everybody kept talking about this battle. What do you mean? What battle? There's all we have is just groups of like 1 or 2 people scattered throughout this world. You really needed to have that home base, that village. It's very difficult to put together a 2-part movie because you're abandoning your 3-act structure. You still have to have a resolution. You can't just have a movie end and say, okay, everything's going to get resolved in the second half of the movie. So you still have to have the big battle. You also needed to do a better job explaining the vampire factions, because we didn't understand that at all. That was so hobcobbled together, it felt like, where you have the Nosferatu and you have the weird bat demon.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would it have been if we had also had a vampire settlement and you have the vampire tavern? Maybe you've got like humans like crucified up all along the walls in this vampire tavern. And like when someone orders a drink, they like stick a knife in like someone's leg and that drains blood into like a shot glass. And like, okay, let's establish these vampires as being like really cruel, evil people. Maybe you're then also introducing some sort of issue in their society because their humans are running out, their food's running out, they're all starving. Maybe they have their own settlement, and because their population of humans keeps dwindling, that they have now instability. And so you have factions of vampires competing to run the vampire society. And maybe then you introduce some stuff where it's like, oh, we want to farm people. Oh, this guy just wants to go be a marauder. And like, let's go destroy this human village and we'll take all the slaves and we'll have enough to eat for 100 years. Another guy would be like, oh, well, we need to think long term. We can't, like, what are we going to do after 100 years? We're all immortal. We live forever. That was specifically established that these vampires are immortal. So, and I think you could do a lot of really cool stuff with how would a vampire society work? How would a human society work in this post-apocalypse vampire setting? Because you're cramming so much stuff in and you have so much world, having a 2-part movie sort of makes sense. But the fact that so much of this movie felt rushed in the first half, and we just, it shouldn't be difficult to follow a vampire movie, you know?
Right. All that you said sounds like a trilogy. And what I'm going to say, if the creators of this film is watching our review, I would say simplify it. Okay, the way I would fix this movie is by picking which one I wanted to. Because this movie had human versus human, then human versus vampire, then vampire versus vampire. Break those things, pick which one you want to focus on your first film. Focus on the first movie to be human versus human and kind of like a Mad Max kind of feel. But then all of a sudden, boom, there's like vampires showing up towards the end, right? And it really would get people's attention. It's like, oh, wait, I thought this was just like a Mad Max. Bringing into the film, it had my attention. I loved the makeup. I love wardrobe. The casting, I think going back to what I said, it was too many characters that it just kind of washed out because they didn't have any extras. Pretty much every extra said something, and they had their own little side plot. Everybody was a character, which is fine, but you really want to focus on shining on your main characters. Like the whole Daisy Duke vibe of the 2 girls would have been fun, and I think that would have been great. But yeah.
Well, I do like the idea of having all of these interesting, quirky side characters.
Yeah.
It's just where the reason it fell apart. Go back to what I was saying before. It's just like you needed a way to introduce these elements and sort of form a cohesive world, because the world building, I think, lacked for certain. Because how do any of these people survive? Like, what do any of these people do? It's hard to say. Like, every character looks amazing. They're just grisly, and the costumes are amazing. And wherever this location is, I think I saw a Nevada license plate, but I can't say for certain. Everything's like, even this car here, it's just filthy. Things are rusted. There's like so much production value to this movie. I just think that I just think some of the structure of the script didn't work, and they might have really been forced to get down to that 90 minutes. Maybe an hour, 45-minute cut or even closer to 2-hour cut of this movie would be better, which seems insane to say because we're always demanding movies be shorter.
The way you solve that, it would have still been that if they cut that weird going into the house scene. Do you remember the stupid guys? Yeah, that whole scene. Just cut that entire thing.
You just need to cut stuff so you can be. You cut some of the extra stuff in this movie, and then you can maybe be a little bit more focused. That might help it. Like I said, I think the real way you fix this movie is just drastically change the first act. Like maybe even you change like the entire conflict dynamic where you have the humans versus humans have their conflict and the vampires versus vampires, and still also you have some human versus vampire, but then the vampire and the human societies both resolve their conflicts in some sort of bloody war, and it's like, okay, that's an exciting finale, but now, in the next movie, we have the ultimate final battle between the humans and the vampires, and like the vampires and humans that survive are all the ones that we really like, and you kill off like half the cast of sort of secondary characters, and then you get a much more distilled product. I don't know. Are we gonna watch Bloodthirst 2 now, knowing that there's a sequel?
I don't know, but I want to go back to what you said. This was filmed in El Dorado Canyon, Nevada, USA. So yeah, would I watch this again? I would have to see the crew, and I would have to see the cast in order for me to make a final decision. Maybe it seems possible. So if you guys want us to watch Bloodthirsty 2, tell us in the comments, and maybe we'll consider it.
Yeah, it's up to you. You know, if we get one comment saying review Bloodthirst 2, we'll do it. You single-handedly can be the reason we watch this sequel, which might not ever come out because I don't see any information about the sequel as being in production on IMDb, so who knows?
Bummer.
You know, I don't even think there is. I don't think there was ever a sequel. I think they just ran out of money and didn't finish this movie. So, what do you rate this?
It's not an oily movie, I don't think, but it's not a great movie. I think I want to give it, because of the idea is really awesome. It's a Mad Max vampire film to it, which I really like. I give it a Bublegum. 1 Bublegum.
I'm going to be a little bit more favorable toward this, and I want to be very clear. This movie has a lot of serious issues, a lot of terrible acting and deliveries that make you sort of cringe almost. But the fact that we do have such great execution on so many cool ideas, this is almost like, what's that movie that I love? Mermaid Down. This is like Mermaid Down, and where, okay, the film is kind of a mess, but there's just so many cool ideas crammed into it that it gives it its own charm. Yeah, I would love to see like a remake of this by Quentin Tarantino. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
I think I'm going to give this 3 WarBux just because there was enough to latch onto that I did like this. Maybe even 4 WarBux. I'm going to have to think, but there was enough in here that kept me on. I wasn't bored. I was entertained through the whole time, even though sometimes I'm like, what the hell is going on? It didn't matter. There were a cool vampire. The individual characters were so interesting, like that guy with the sledgehammer and the golden cross, the grandma with the eye patch.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I would have liked to have seen it all fit together better, but I see there is a cool movie in here somewhere, and I'm able to appreciate the movie that this could have been, not necessarily the movie that it is. So, yeah, at least 3 or 4 WarBux I'll give this.
Although my least favorite character was the thief guy, because he wasn't thieving enough. He wasn't. You know what that character needed to be? He needed to be the guy from D&D.
Yeah, he steals the taxidermied cat.
Yeah.
All of these characters needed their own specific arc, or at least some sort of payoff to how you established each of them. Everybody needed some sort of payoff to what we established. Like the guy with the sledgehammer. There needed to be one scene where he took that sledgehammer and smashed a vampire's skull. These characters were so cool, but they did feel underutilized as far as the ideas went into them. So, maybe we'll see something like that in the sequel.
I agree, because Sarah French was the Daisy Duke hot girl of this film, but it needed to be extended on that. If she is the Daisy Duke hot girl of this movie, she needs to be like Megan Fox on Transformers, fixing a mechanic, fixing that car, super zoom of her short shorts, and her doing the mechanical things. And she's like sweaty, and then her sister comes in the driver. She's like, "Did you fix it?" And then them like, what is it when they like are stealing a car and then they break the wires to turn it on?
Hot wire.
Hot wiring. You know, that would have been cool. One of the sisters needed to be in the bike, and they're like freaking running over vampires that way. Oh man, there was so much that they could have done with those two girls, which I really liked. I liked the two sisters, and I did like the daddy character.
Well, they even set up that these two female characters were sort of being aggressively approached by some of the men in the trading outpost. Like, okay, we set that up. Where's the payoff where they say, hey, like Sarah puts her leg out on the other side of the car and, like, you know, it just zooms up her thigh, and then she seduces one of these guys, and then when he comes in, boom, you stab him, you steal his weapon, you know, have some sort of payoff.
Agreed.
God, you know what, I could probably complain about this for another 20 minutes, to be honest, but it's only because I did enjoy this. Like, there's just so many questions I have. It's like, again, it's like Mermaid Down. This movie's gonna live in my head for the next week, I think, for sure.
War is gonna be in the next 2 weeks, is gonna be walking around thinking about this movie, Bloodthirsty, and he's gonna be going to the bar and he's gonna be giving the plot of this movie. He's like, no, listen, it's like Mad Max. It's like Mad Max, but with vampires in it. You know?
God, there had to have been 20 different characters in this movie, and that's a lot to fit in 90 minutes. Like, we constantly praise Jurassic Games for managing it with 10 characters. This movie tried to do it with twice as many. Too many cooks in the kitchen, you might call it, but yeah, I think there's a good movie in here somewhere. That's where I'll leave it.
So I want to thank every single one of you. We have 100 subs. I am so excited, and I am so hyped up. I hope soon we'll have 200. Here is our medal. War went into his post office.
This came in the mail.
And
I didn't even know YouTube had my address.
I know, it's so crazy. It came in the mail, and he like showed me a picture of it. Here it is, 100 sub plaque. I love it. It's beautiful.
Awarded
yeah.
to Oily Trash Movies. And you know what? If you are listening to this and you are one of our first 100 subscribers, congratulations. You were here from the beginning, and we're gonna give all of our first 100 subscribers $1 million.
Yeah, Daddy WarBux has the monies. He'll give you $1 million. And for me, to all our 100 subs, don't worry about sending me your address. I already have it. I'm going to send you Bublegum. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for following us, and thanks for stalking us. We couldn't have done without you. And to our next 100 subscribers, get fucked. You could have been here sooner, but you know what? It's okay. We'll still take your subscription. Listen, that's 100 steps up the Tower of Babel. We couldn't have done it. We are eternally in your debt. I would die for any one of my subs. I'll be honest.
He would. I also want to thank our biggest fans, Daddy WarBux and Bubblegum Barbie. We love you.
True. Oily Trash Movies would be nothing without Daddy WarBux and Bubblegum Barbie. So that's the real winner. That's why they got the plaque and not the subscribers.
Our biggest fan.
Take care, comb your hair.
And remember to mace directly in that vampire's face.
Bye.
That was awesome. We did so good. 100 subs, baby.